great to be outside Hinkle Fieldhouse, a basketball cathedral. And who better with college basketball season inching closer to talk college hoops than with Fran Fraschilla of ESPN. Fran, you're here at Butler practice.
Yeah.
Season just around the corner. First and foremost, this building. What's it mean to Fran Fraschilla?
I love this place. It's I'm a purist. I'm a basketball history junkie, and to be in Hinkle. And by the way, Mr. Barry Collier and the athletic department staff have done an amazing job inside the building. It's modern, and yet it still has that old field house feel. So great to be here today. Love coming to Butler. Coach Jordan's a good friend. I've been watching him grow as a coach, and it's my time of year to get around the country. Even though I'm in Big 12 country, I get a ways and around the country and get to see some of my friends and see some good teams practice.
There's a Big 12 connection with the Big East that we'll get to, but starting with these Butler Bulldogs, like the rest of the Big East Conference, beyond 4 teams who made the NCAA tournament, there were teams that were synonymous with the Big Dance that were just short last year, and this Butler team was one of them. What needs to change for them to get back to the NCAA tournament?
Well, health is one thing. They're still banged up a little bit, but certainly the backcourt. You know, when you think of, Kamar Baldwin obviously is a guy that comes to mind, and Sean McDermott, one of the great shooters in the Big East. You start with that backcourt. Thompson, a great defender. But then I think up front, what we're going to see out of Enzi, the transfer from Milwaukee, and Derek Smits, who was banged up today. But that's going to be a key, finding a 5, 6, 7-man group that you can count on every night in this league. But you love that backcourt, and I would say the one key is for Kamar, as good as he was as a junior, to be more consistent as a senior, not be so up and down, but certainly he's a tremendous talent.
Baldwin averaging 19 points per game in Big East play a season ago. Looking at the rest of the conference, what's the Fraschilla Big East forecast?
Wow, balance. Obviously you look at the magazine, Seton Hall's got 4 starters back and a great player in Myles Powell. I love the way he plays. Villanova's really talented, and Marquette's got, I think, a sneaky, we know they've lost some guys, but they are sneaky, really good with that great backcourt, especially with not just Marcus Howard's All-American status, but the young man, Kobe McEwen from Utah State, who can play on or off the ball and take some heat off of Marcus. But I love this league because I don't see a team. DePaul's got to make a move. There's no question. And they have the talent to do it with Paul Reed back and some really good freshmen. But the rest of this league is really hard to forecast from 1 to 9 because there is so much balance. You and I, because you know this league so well, we can make a really good argument for 8 or 9 teams having the kind of year that's going to put them in contention for an NCAA tournament bid. And so the key is going to be round robin play and who's going to end up shining at the end.
And many coaches will say, where your team can stand in the NCAA tournament status in January because you're going to be facing potentially NCAA tournament quality teams throughout conference play, but that's why non-conference play is so important. And for the Big East, they have an alliance with the Big Ten and the Gavitt Games. And newly added this year, I don't think there was anybody more exciting than Fran Fraschilla, you can find on Big Monday, and the Big 12 with Bob Wischusen, is the Big East Big 12 scheduling alliance.
It's going to be great. And, these Butler Bulldogs will go down to Baylor and take on a Butler graduate and Scott Drew, who's got a really good team. I'm trying to convince you to leave Indianapolis after that great Butler-Florida game. Drive the 7 hours out to Ames for Seton Hall, Iowa State in Hilton Coliseum. Villanova's going to play Kansas at the Wells Fargo. This is going to go up to Providence, where Rick Barnes coached and had so much success at Texas. So I think it's great what Big 12, Big East, Big Ten are doing, because you really want to challenge yourself in non-conference. And we do know it's all about the net right now. It's all about having a strength of schedule, not only in your league, but out of the league. So I think this is a smart play by Val Ackerman and Stu Jackson, the Big East office, and certainly the teams in the league.
Finally,
yes,
you think of the national perspective here, and the spotlight's on Myles Powell and Marcus Howard and 2 All-American candidates. But Kamar Baldwin's here at Butler.
Yes.
Alpha Diallo at Providence. You like some players at Villanova, Colin Gillespie and Jermaine Samuels. What do you make of the ability of some of these stars and what they could do come March?
Well, what I like about what's about to happen in the Big East this year is if you think about Myles Powell and Marcus Howard, they were recruited but not heavily, and they have turned out to be great players. Marcus is 30 points away from breaking my man Jarrell time Golden Eagle record of scoring, and Myles has just transformed his whole game, his body, everything, and has become just one of the elite players in the country. I look at Najee Marshall at Xavier, who I watched in high school, who I love his intensity. Maybe Paul Scruggs there as well. Out at Creighton, you got my man Mitch Ballack, another kid I saw on the high school circuit, Tyshawn Alexander. You mentioned not only Alpha Diallo, but breakout guys like my guy AJ Reed, been hurt, Providence, Georgetown, the three sophomores, and Omer Yurtseven, the transfer from NC State. What I love about the Big East this year is not only do you have some teams that I think are poised to make big jumps, but there are guys on those teams that I think are going to become the kind of household names that we now know Myles Powell and Marcus Howard are. And that's exciting, I think, for the league.
Okay, Big East atmospheres, so you'll have to show me some Big 12 atmospheres. Maybe I'll see you at Hilton Coliseum or maybe down at Baylor this year.
And I'll take care of the barbecue at both places when you come out. You take care of the Italian food when I come to Newark. Maybe for that Michigan State game in November, I might pop in there as a spectator.
It's easy for me to do is to take care of the Italian. Fran Fraschilla, thanks.
You're welcome, John.